I have got the amazing, the wonderful, the superstar Instagram guy that, I mean, I'm sorry, that challenge, Joathan.
Uh,
I have a friend that did it, and I've never been so proud of her in my life. And I was so jealous because I never get past the first lesson.
yeah.
Like, I'm like, I think if you're not secure, oh, Joathan Tilley, everyone, brand
Hi.
extraordinaire. Um, he's basically all of our Wizard of Oz. Joathan
Oh,
is
thank you.
the guy. My friend, she won't mind me mentioning her. She might, but it's too late. Gina
Hmm.
um, joined your Instagram challenge, Gina Rogers, and smashed it out of the, I mean, in
Yeah,
my
she did.
opinion, like watching every single video. But I mean, she's a dancer. She's used to being on video. And I was like, I want to be that girl. I want to be that girl. But the thing that struck me about your challenge, because you had it a couple of years in a row, and
Yeah,
it's the amount of time that
yeah,
all the Instagram stuff and the marketing stuff takes.
yeah.
And it makes me think of the writers that I work with, that they write their book and then they launch it out into the world. And they're so excited.
Mm,
And there's a whole other full-time career that
yeah,
has to happen after you do
yeah,
anything in showing the world what you're doing. And I want to move with the flow, because I find that if you're a person that resists things, you might as well just disappear.
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to learn to do all that stuff. But
Mm,
at some point during this call, I'd like to ask you how people find time, how you incorporate that stuff into doing the other stuff,
oh my
the
goodness.
other work. I mean, do you find it hard? Because you create as well, and you teach,
Yeah,
and you do all that.
yeah.
How do you do it?
Well, um,
Waiting for the
I
secret, Joathan.
waiting for the secret. There is no secret, other than you have to be organized and you have to have a system and you have to try, post, and then go what worked, what didn't, and then let go of what didn't, or repurpose or change what didn't into more things that do work. But I'm not saying follow trends. That's the absolute worst thing to do because once a trend comes out, you're already late to it. Just like when you buy a new Apple product or any technological product, the moment it comes out onto the market, it's already 6 months out of date, right? So, and I think especially when Instagram Reels came out in 2020, and then it was Corona and everybody was in lockdown, just there was this surge of let's hop on a trend just to get out of the horribleness of lockdown. But now it's the point where you look at a trend and you just go, "Ugh, okay, but like, who is this person?" And that's why I've taken this huge shift away from let's learn how to do all this filming stuff and video stuff and Instagram stuff and then figure out who we are and build from there, right? Which is so much easier. So to answer your question, to come full circle, number one, be organized and get a system in place. But number two, you don't have to do all video. And actually, I prefer, and this is what I teach, is if you can turn your phone on and speak directly to camera. Anyone can do it. Literally, turn it
I
on.
used to do that.
But
I used to walk through the park and talk.
yeah, but what do you say? How do you edit it? There's so many things when it comes to video that I started to notice like we're doing all these reels and I'm like, but we're missing the actual point, which is who is the person, right? Who is the person? Who is the business? Basically, who are you? What do you do? And who do you help? And everybody was getting tripped up in, but how do I film it? What's the right camera angle? I need a new phone. It's like, no, no, just answer these questions. Who are you? What do you do? Who do you help? Yeah, but the lighting. Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, can we just sit down and write it? What do I write?
That speaks to
There
me
we
more. That
go.
speaks to me so
Yeah.
much more, because I would walk around the park and talk to people about like whatever big epiphany I had. And everyone was like, nice, but I never identified my audience. And that brings me
Yes.
to what I noticed about you, new Joathan
Mm-hmm.
8.0. You seem to approach, well, you always did though, but but I wondered if that was the difference between the people that do online content a lot, that those that don't,
Mm.
is you seemed to approach it with such joy. And if you're concentrating on your lighting and you're like some of us who don't seem to have a
Yeah.
knack for the lighting, the joy is missing. And a
Yeah.
lot of the online content, the joy is missing.
Yeah.
And how do you have the joy if you're just worrying about showing up? So many.
Mm.
I notice writers on Threads. There are so many writers on Threads, and they're they don't know how to show up.
Mm.
They're watching their fellow write. It's become a marketing contest,
Yeah.
and they're doing it for the love of writing, but they've marketing feels like this big scary thing that leaves people out.
Yeah. Because this is what I believe. I think a lot of people go into their business, whatever it is, in marketing as in I have to do the external validation. I have to, and we go through that and we start our business and we do the, well, if you ever need a fill in the blank, and we realize that doesn't work. And then it's like, okay, now what? And you get to a point where you're so exhausted that you just go, I'm so tired of putting on a persona and doing what all these other
Yeah.
people are saying to do. I need to really be careful for my energy and how much energy I'm giving out so I can actually put my energy into the work that I do. And that's the kipping point. About 2 to 5 years when somebody's in their business, I usually say, but it could be earlier, it could be later, where people just go, I'm so tired. The only thing that I can do is be me. And I go, and we start right there. That's where we start.
Yeah.
So we go, okay, who are you? Who do you help? Who are you? What do you do? Who do you help? Like, let's just get clear on those three things. Oh, well, and I came for, stop telling me what you think I need to hear. Who are you? Where'd you come from? Did you stay there? Did you move somewhere else? What did you study? All these pigeonholing questions that everybody asks you anyway at a party or a dinner party where you've never met so and so, right? The first three questions: what's your name? Where are you from? What do you do? Right? Pigeonholing questions. So if people are already programmed to like ask you these questions so they can avoid the uncomfortable, awkward silences, just give them the information anyway. Hi, I'm
But then
Joathan.
what if your
I'm
but
from
what if your
here, but I'm
delivery
moved over
is
here.
wrong? What
What
if
if you're
you're a
what?
weirdo? Like
Nothing, be a
I'm speaking
weirdo.
for all the weirdos. Yeah, but what if you feel like you are a weirdo? Like your delivery might be wrong because you tell them who you are and what you mean and you're authentic and their eyes glaze over. Like what if you feel like it must be what if you have started being your authentic, you've gone through a few years,
Mm,
you've stopped trying to be other people, you become asking for a friend, obviously, you become yourself, and then
mm,
yourself doesn't seem to be making such a big splash.
hmm.
How
With
do you then
who?
identify
With
with
who?
anyone, with with anyone, with people in general? Like
Okay,
how do you identify then what you're doing wrong?
here's the thing. I think a lot of people, and this is generalizing, and I'm going to give the general answer, then go a little bit deeper. When you start
And I'm kind
to,
of generalizing in the
yeah,
question. Don't worry, I'm not going to have a breakdown in 2 minutes.
when you start to go, okay, I'm just going to be me and answer these questions in the way that I'm just going to answer it because this is just who I am.
Yeah.
When you attract, what's the opposite of attract? Repel, right?
Yeah.
So when you start to become yourself and start to go, okay, this is my authentic self, you are going to naturally start attracting, you're already attracting to yourself. You're like, oh, this feels like me. You're going to naturally start attracting people that vibe with you, which means you're also going to repel others. Now, especially in a world of black, white, uh, desert, uh, ocean, like where everything is so cut and like down the middle.
Yeah.
Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, like can we just consider that there is this middle ground that no one talks about? This is what I mean. And like you do this every single day when you turn on your phone, when you chat to somebody on the cashier. We do this every day, and it's done to us every single day. It's the gray middle zone. The cashier. Find everything okay? Yep. Great. Okay. Thanks. Bye. Maybe a little bit of eye contact, but that's it. You didn't even read the name tag. Somebody held the door for, or you hold the door for somebody. Thank you, and they walk by. The gray area. It's kind, it's polite, but they're not like rushing to give you a job, right? That's the
Right.
mediocre meh area, and it's usually where like all of the world hangs out in, right? And
Yeah.
then we have the attract of like, oh my God, like I need to book you, or I'm so excited to work with you. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. And then we have the repel. Right. The people are like, oh,
Right.
I can't stand you. Negative. If you just go, okay, I just want to attract more people. And the people that aren't attracted to me, they're probably going to fall under this mediocre meh area. And rarely am I going to get like haters in the comments. And if there's a hater in the comments, like block and bless. Come on, I don't have time for this. But nobody is going to come up to your face and be like, I don't think what you're doing is right. Like, no, nobody has time for that. I don't have time for that. Like I can barely get through the day getting everything
Yeah.
done,
You're
right?
right. It seems magnified because the online world we live in. So we start
Exactly.
to give more credence to the comments
Yeah,
and
right.
yeah.
So this repel of negative, oh my goodness, it doesn't really happen. And if it does, you just go, oh, block and bless. Like, who's this random keyboard warrior, right? Like, they were never going to book me
Yeah.
anyway, right? Like, so if we just go, okay, the negative Nellies, the keyboard warriors, we really don't have to worry about them. It's usually our own limiting beliefs and scarcity mentality of I'm not good enough. That's the that's the negative that we need to keep
Right.
in check, right? But the people outside of our horrible Harrys and inner critics, they don't have time to hate on us 24/7. They got
Right.
other more important things to do. So if we just get rid of that, we only have the mediocre meh gray area and the attract. So that's like a little bit of a weight off of our shoulders. And then here's the thing when you're like, well, how do we to finally get to this answer? When you start stepping into the most authentic future version of yourself now, when you start
Oh, except we have to take a moment to note that Harry takes exception to the phrase horrible Harrys.
yes, yes. I call my inner critic horrible Harry. He sits right here. Yeah. Whenever the inner critic is going, I'm like, get out of here, horrible Harry, get out of here. So I can keep going forward.
Yeah,
So
I've got the
nothing against you,
mine is
Harry
the inner
Williams.
nothing personal, Harry.
Nothing personal.
Okay, I disrupted.
Um,
Go ahead.
so when we get rid of the negative naysayers that don't have time, and we realize, oh, it's a lot of mediocre meh and a little bit of attract, like, whoa, like we really need to work together, do something together. It just
Right.
alleviates a lot. And we can start differentiating, oh, this is just meh, or they're just not interested, and they're really interested, and I'm interested too. You can sort of feel that, right?
Yeah.
RuPaul said that his mother said, whenever there was like, I'm not sure, is it a good fit? RuPaul's mother would say, if they're not paying your rent, don't pay them no mind. And to this day, I use it, right? So anytime that somebody like brushes me on the street and they didn't see me, I'm like, oh no, they're being so mean. They're not paying my rent. I'm not paying their rent. Like, come on. If I send out an email to a prospective client and I just get nothing back, that meh, they're just like, they just ghost me because it's just not a good fit for them. They're not paying my rent. I would like them to, but they're not. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to pay them any mind. But for the people that I do reach out to and the people that go, yeah, I want to work with you, there's this mutual attraction. They're paying my rent. I'm paying them my mind and vice versa. Right. So there are people out there where you do have that attract, magnify, magnetics, but it's not. And I think there's this Hollywood movie idea of open the door, walk down the street, and superstar. Like that would be great, but it's not
Yeah.
realistic,
Have you ever
right?
been to a burlesque show? Have you
Yeah,
ever been to a burlesque?
yeah,
Okay, so I think having been in too many and compared and performed, in my head, you just made me realize. I mean, I'm going to take a moment of silence for how profound this is. That I'd never, ever even considered the possibility that there was a middle audience. It was all
yeah,
in my head. Everyone was either a really mean hater or my burlesque audience. And you know them. When you get
yeah,
people in a burlesque audience,
yeah.
they're with you.
Woohoo!
Yeah, and I do tend I up until this moment thought that everyone that didn't hate me should be my burlesque audience. I and my feelings were horribly hurt.
Mm,
They
mm.
were. This is why you're Joathan Tilley. That
Ah,
it's such an it's such a clear thing.
yeah. So
So obvious.
let's do the reverse, right? So Daniela, for you today, or let's say the past week, can you name a couple instances that you were like, meh, I'm just not interested, but thank you. Like when were those instances?
Okay, see, you know that family member you have that's a bit too much?
Mm-hmm.
I'm that person. So I'm at the grocery store thinking I'm best friends with the checkout clerk. I tend to
Mm-hmm.
be too much with everyone. I which is probably why I get my feelings hurt. I tend to be like best friends with everyone. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
good at meh. I've never been meh. I either love people or hate them. Joathan wants to know meh is like, I'm trying to think, he wants to know what the Brit term of meh would be.
Right.
Kind of not, kind of like, I'm not interested, not really
Mediocre, like
into it.
mediocre, like neither here nor there. What
Beige.
beige, my favorite color. Um, uh, what's it? What's it? What would be a British term for that?
I've lived here like over a decade and I don't know.
Mediocre. So couldn't care less.
Harry,
Not
you're a
not
librarian. Help us
bothered.
out here.
Not bothered. Face
Yeah,
not
yeah,
bothered.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Okay. So, but yes, I do get the concept of a meh. Like yeah, I get it. Like
Yeah.
people that start talking politics on Facebook and I just like
Uh,
scroll on by.
I can't. I don't have
Yeah.
time for this. So if Daniela, if you're a person that's like you're either my best friend or my enemy, like I can't just go,
Kind of
okay,
am.
maybe they're not, maybe we're not enemies, but at least I'm a mad to you. Not to the thing of like, oh, I couldn't care less, but just I'm just not interested. Like, okay, like I'm not a I don't hate coconut. I just don't like the texture. Right. So if
I'm
there's
gonna
like,
practice being mad. I'm gonna
yeah,
practice it.
yeah, just
I'm
like,
gonna
oh, I'm not
practice being a
interested.
mad person.
Yeah. And if somebody's just not interested in you, that's totally okay. Because they don't hate you. They just don't they're just "Hmm, that's nice. That's
I'm
nice,
gonna
dear.
practice that. It's a lovely way of looking at the world, isn't it? That
Yeah.
everything doesn't have to be a big drama or
Yeah.
it's a lovely way of looking at the world. Have
Yeah.
you always looked at the
Everything's
world
meh.
this way?
No. And I've just
When did
realized recently, I don't know. I think the busier I get and the more I'm just trying to have like not even a day off, we're talking like an hour off, that I have to conserve my energy so much that the things that used to get me so riled up, I'm like, I do not have time for that. Let's
yeah.
focus on, I want to focus more on the, yes, this lights me up. So I don't have time for that. Did you hear what she said? I honestly don't have time for, like, I don't care. Let's get the really good stuff, right? So, so yeah, I think the meh is the busier you are, and the more you the more you sort of prioritize the really important stuff, the more you go, oh, pretty much everything is not as important as the things that light you up, and you help other people light up as well.
I want to get to the branding.
Yes.
You have just put the final piece of a puzzle together. There's something that I've been mulling over the last few weeks because I had a creative coach. I had a meeting with a
Mm,
creative coach, and I was saying that there are glimmers of 10-year-old me. Like I used to have this energy. I used to like practice playing with energy. I'd go to school, other people were probably studying, but I would be like, how many people can I like charm and win over? I'd walk down the hall.
hmm.
I'd like play with throwing energy at them.
Yeah.
Big smiles. See if I could get them to smile. But I used to love that kind of thing. And I told this lady, I said, there's only 10% of me that does that anymore. When I'm getting ready to go on something, or I'm gonna only 10%, which is why I loved cabaret burlesque, because you're
Mm,
getting that, you're pulling out of the crowd. But the other 90% is the real world and the
hmm.
budgeting and the schedule, and it just feels very low. And but you live in that. And she said, well, can you practice taking that energetic self to 11%,
Hmm.
maybe 12%? And
Hmm.
so what I've done the last few weeks is I've been practicing. I'll do an audition and I'll channel the energy and I'll do what I did when I was young. And I remember
Hmm.
my father, before he died, his friends were dying, and he was always really energetic, charmed the world. Everyone loved him. You go into his stratosphere and you were just like in love. And that was gone. And I think that that is the quality, the thing you hear about famous people that like everyone, they just couldn't wait to. I heard that about Bill Clinton randomly, that like when you met him, even if you hated him, you loved him because he could do that
Mm,
to people. And what you just said there is if there are the meh that draw that energy and the hate, and I think I'm this passionate person. I'm like, I love you or I hate you. You're wasting everything you're spending on this or this. You're taking away from the 10, 11% of who you want to be. And that, I think, might be the profound change in you that I saw online. And I told you before this call, I didn't have a chance to look into your new program. We get to explore
mm.
it together tonight. But there was this profound change jumping off the screen.
Yep.
And which is why I reached out to you and I said, I really want to explore this. And I think that that joy is what we're talking about, that have, you get to an age where you're like, and I'm at that age where you're like, that's all that matters. That
Yep.
life force, that whatever it is,
Yep.
channel it, get it, use every, because there's not a lot left, and you gotta. And so, tell me about the new program, how it came to be, what sparked it. Take me to the beginning, not just the. Tell me the good
What
stuff.
sparked my new program, Personal Branding Studio? Well, oh geez, how long do you have? Let's
We
actually,
got the time. Knock yourself out
do
with
you know what?
it.
You mentioned the Instagram challenge, and that was huge. We've done it 3 times. And what actually it spawned from the Instagram challenge, but in a very on the outside, people are like, this is so much fun. I'm learning so much, tra la la. On the back end, I'm like, this is insanity. Like, what is going on? And what I mean by this
For
is
with
not,
quick recap, because just a quick recap
yes,
for people in the audience that won't know what the Instagram
yeah.
challenge was. Just
So
like
a
really
couple
quick.
years ago, I did an Instagram Reels challenge. So Instagram Reels came out and I created all these video tutorials and I was like, here's access to the video tutorials for 30 days for free. Get in as much as you can, challenge, post a reel every single day for 30 days. My team and I will track your progress. We'll give you tips and tricks, like free training, and then close it down. And if you want access to it and the entire Instagram program, then there's a whole Instagram program. And it was so much fun. It was so much work. But what was so apparent was this one thing, that I have another program, my very first program, all about direct email marketing and everything. And the same problem was coming up. And what was interesting is that direct email marketing program, Instagram Reels challenge, the actual Instagram course, all of these things, there was this pattern that kept showing up. And the pattern was people would be like, yeah, but I don't have a website yet, but I'm just going to like sort of go and do it. Yeah, I kind of am jumping into this business and let's just give it a go. Yeah, I want to be perceived as something that I'm not really, so I'm just going to like pretend I'm that. All this external validation.
Yeah.
And all the people that were successful in the Instagram Reels challenge, all the like the winners, all of the people that were successful in all my other courses, all had the same qualities. They knew who they were, they knew what they offered, they knew who their target audience was. Like so simple, so simple. They knew who they were, they knew what they offered, they knew who their target audience was. And they were like, yep, this is what I do. Sky blue, grass green, me, job title, here's my target audience, right? But the rest of the people were like, yeah, I'm kind of like, and they would just like meander through the like conversational and not just saying, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is who I help. Which,
Yeah.
if you've been in business long enough, you need to repeat that over and over and over again for it to stick versus the, yeah, I'm just finding my way, right? So I was like, wait a minute. And then for the past like over 15 years, I'd been doing one-on-one client work, personal branding, web design, social media strategy, repeating myself over and over again. Who are you? What do you offer? Who do you help? Right? On a one-to-one level. And it was great, but I'm like, there has to be another way to get this information out to more people instead of one-on-one. It needs to be one to many. And I just keep repeating myself. But the process is so repetitive and long. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to take 2024 off and just like write the entire process and just create it and then just figure out what this is. And luckily, it was 2024 and not a year before, because in 2024, ChatGPT AI started to roll out. So I started to play with AI and ChatGPT and became a ChatGPT expert apparently, and realized that ChatGPT, is what I use, is an excellent brainstorming buddy. And if you have the right prompts and give them the right prompts with your answers, it helps you write your about page. It helps you write your website copy. It gets like 80% right of how you sound, and the other 20% you just read through it, change it, make it sound like you, and then you're done. Because the biggest problem is that people have a huge issue with writing, but don't have an issue about speaking. So what if we could speak answers to questions that I've already created, you record it, throw it into ChatGPT, text to audio to text, and you have your entire memoir, have ChatGPT section it out into your about page, into your privacy policy, into your services, into your creative process, superseding and fast tracking the entire process, right? And that's just the written stuff. Then what about the photographers? What about, finally getting in front of the camera, finally dressing, not like you're on the red carpet, but just looking presentable, putting your best face forward, right? And putting all of that stuff together. The issue isn't the outdated website and the I don't know what to post on social media. Those are the symptoms. The real issue is not having magnetic messaging, vibrant visuals, delicious designs in your signature strategy, which is you, AKA, you don't have personally branded content. Because when you have personally branded content, everything's easy. You plug it into your website, social media, and you're done. Versus, I got to create something outside of myself. No, start from inside. So it all started from the exhaustion of the Instagram Reels challenge and noticing all these patterns. And I said, wait a minute, let's take it, instead of looking external, let's take it back to internal. Who are we? What is our specific take? Even if you're a twin, you still have your own sort of story to tell. Let's base it off of that instead of what we think people want to hear from us. Let's base it off of who we are.
Oh, so I have a question.
Yes.
Again, asking for a friend. Say you had like maybe 250 interview shows where old you talked a lot. You can't undo what's out there. How do you
No.
rebrand when the old you is still, for all of us, all over online and people already have first impressions?
Yeah, but
What do
people
you do?
evolve.
Yeah, do you think they change their mind about people?
Oh my God. But like, honestly, if you have 250 episodes of a 1 hour show, that's 250 hours. What person is going to sit and watch 250 hours of a show and go, oh, they've changed. Oh, they're different now. Like, that's
Because it
so
did
like,
occur to me, I've said everything there is to say, like, but then you're a whole new person. If you're evolving, if you're an adult, you change. I'm an
yeah,
entirely different person than I was 2 months ago.
exactly.
Once you
Right.
put it out there, though, are you stuck with it? Somebody has a question. Harry has a question for you. For
Yes.
Joathan. Has his adaptation of ChatGPT changed your approach to website building? Course was suggested years ago. I've been meaning
Mhm.
to dump my old website and considering it. Now I'm curious.
Okay. Harry, this is a great question. I don't work on WordPress. I work only on Squarespace, but it's okay because everybody thinks WordPress. I prefer Squarespace, but that's a whole other conversation. Um, ChatGPT. So this is the interesting thing. So I did have a course called Website Makeover Masterclass where I was helping people create their own websites, but then I became sort of like tech support Joathan instead of like here's the information on how to build your own website from scratch, which was like nice one, Joathan. That's really sweet. But when somebody doesn't see the same screen as you and they just start clicking around, they can destroy all the work that they've done on their website. So that was so sweet. That was very kind of you, Joathan. But that actually did more harm than good. So that's why I've created my personal branding studio to help you create the personally branded content before we even start with the website. And then once you have the personally branded content, I wonder in a couple of months, I'm going to be dropping all of my pre-made templates that you just plug your content into and adapt to fit to who you are. No website building, you just drag and drop based off of your
onto
personality
onto Squarespace. Onto
onto
Squarespace.
Squarespace. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah. So to answer your question about ChatGPT, yes, ChatGPT helps with creating the personally branded content, but you need the content first before you upload it to your website. But the website, uploading the content to your Squarespace website has nothing to do with ChatGPT because the content's already created. It's sort of like, perfect example. It's sort of like writing a book and then sending the manuscript to the publisher and then for the publisher to then print it. You can send blank pages to a publisher and the printer, but they're going to be like, what do you want me to do with this? Is this a journal that people write in? No, it's my book. Well, we need the content of the book to print it, right? So it's like
I
that.
love that. I love that. Okay. What about you? You spend all your time teaching. Do you have a journey still yourself with your online presence? Do you ever have dark nights of the soul where you're like, I mean, you seem to have it so together, but are you just generally a person that is like, you've got this good energy that exudes from you? Are you
Thank
always,
you.
I'm trying to get at the nitty-gritty part. It's my job as an interviewer, please forgive me.
Yes.
But do you have dark nights of the soul, Jonathan?
Every night. Like I even have a chat GPT, like just a one chat GPT called Late Night Randomness, where I literally speak into my phone. I'm like, so I'm feeling really sad about give me guidance. And then chat GPT goes, well, actually, based off of where you were last month, you're doing really well. So like there's an actual chat GPT on my phone in my account that is literally my AI therapist.
Can I just say I have to confess because as a narrator, anything AI, people hate AI.
Yeah.
And see, I don't hate AI because I grew up watching the Jetsons. To me,
Yeah.
I was always really excited for future world. But I hate the soulless corporate people that throw out bad audio
Yeah.
that's got no point and is like ruining art and art itself. But I don't think AI is meant to replace us.
No.
But as far as helping us,
Yes.
I
As a tool.
had chronic fatigue syndrome and I spent a lot of time going to doctors thinking, what the hell is wrong with me? And Chat GPT, who I just love more than anything on earth,
Hmm.
has saved my friends from having 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I think I'm dying, is life
Yeah.
over? And literally at one point, I think Chat GPT, I don't know. I mean, I don't care where it gets it from, but I needed to hear at 3 in the morning when it said, have you gone to the doctor and explained this?
Hmm.
And I said, I go to the doctor and they just say exercise and eat,
Yeah.
eat, eat less, move more. And Chat GPT said, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
It's like having a good friend that's not going to judge you
Yep.
and think you're an asshole.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
it's, I mean, we can be against things changing, but I think you have to also live in the world.
Do you know, I'm gonna make two notes. Um, I'm gonna go back to do you have a bad day? But I want to keep going on the AI thing. I saw something recently um saying that just like any pendulum when things swing, like things
Yeah.
swing back, right? Like this, we can see this in history and whatever. Um,
Fashion.
fashion, right? So I think that right now we're very much in the AI voice world, and it's becoming very in to have an AI voice. And it for tech companies, yes, that makes sense, right? But for luxury brands, for like heartfelt from the heart, you can tell that it's that you don't have that nuance, right? And
Or
read this article,
audiobooks.
yeah, or audiobooks, right?
Yeah.
It's efficient AI voices, but you miss the connection. And just like, for example, the movie Avatar, where everybody was blue, super cool, but now we have the movie Wicked, which was there is some CGI in the background, but it was like a real set. There was no green, everything was green screen and you're acting to a tennis ball. That's why Wicked feels much more like you're in this world, right? So we saw it with CGI with green screen, and then things are swinging back, and there we're finding a balance. I think the same thing's happening with
Yeah.
AI in the voiceover
Yeah.
world, and it's going to swing back. And on top of this, I firmly believe that the people and the companies that have the budget will be like, no, it's a human voice, which is going to be actually a luxurious thing.
It
It's
will.
it
As long as the human voice is the best. Yeah, that's why right now I think it's a calling to us that we have to hone our craft.
yes.
Hours in the booth. Are you working? If you're not working, Why not? Are you sitting
Yeah.
around waiting for someone else to give you work? There are public
Nope.
domain books out there. There's a million things you could be getting
Yep.
in that booth, and but it's practice. What's that guy that did 5,000 hours or something to become a
Yep.
genius? 50,000 something. You got to be doing it because
Yep.
subconsciously people crave cracks, like that Chinese, the crack in the
Yes.
tea kettle. It's subconsciously people see beauty in cracks. We're our eyes are always searching for it, and
Yep.
so we might not know what's there's a thing. I don't know if you've ever seen it. A tiny bit addicted. Like I'll put the headset on, and I'll if you ever look up retro future or future retro AI on YouTube, it's short movies, and it's what the 50s thought the future would look like.
Oh,
So it's,
cool.
oh my God, Joathan, it is like, if you look up the Christmas ones, it's it's mind blowing. That it's like people talking to robots, and they're all like super technicolor. And the women, they'll show a close up of a woman's face, and it's like what like to the ridiculous point of what human
Mm.
beings thought they wanted to look like. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
study in like our world. You've got like literally after this call, go run to YouTube and look
I'll
up
check it out.
retro future AI. And I'll send you a link of two of the best ones. But I wouldn't want to live in that world.
No,
I wouldn't listen to an 8-hour audiobook in that world. I wouldn't want
no.
to be surrounded with everything we crave, but
Yeah.
also I'm not an idiot. I know the difference.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I know the difference between real and not real. And it's I know the difference. You know what I mean? You can't just be
Hmm.
completely afraid of something and completely ignore that it exists. Because I'm an artist, it's not going to take my job. Guess what? It's going to take your job if
Yeah.
you don't evolve.
Yeah. And
So
that's the thing.
I
We
completely,
the big thing with personal branding is, and going back to your I have 25, 250 hours of, we evolve as humans,
yeah,
right?
I've said unbelievable things. Like, what was I
And
thinking?
we have to, like, we have to accept that because no one's perfect.
Yeah.
And it's through the actual act of doing things that we evolve. Otherwise you stagnate, right? So thank you for noticing that my energy has shifted online, or that the way that I portray myself, or that I'm showing it more authentically, has shifted a bit. It's because I've evolved. And
It's compelling.
apparently it's attracting the right people. That's why I'm here, right? So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think there's everything right with it. But I think we also have to be honest in the sense of, yes, I'm evolving, versus the thing of like, what do you mean? Like people like people that are on
Yeah.
Ozempic, that like celebrity Hollywood celebrities that are on Ozempic. It's like, I'm just eating right. It's like, girl, you lost 300 pounds in 2 days. It's Ozempic. Just call it what it is, right? Like just be honest with it, right?
There's a show. I don't even want to say the name of it because I'm like, I honestly don't watch this show ever. But like in search of light entertainment, I wanted to watch something that was like completely just rubbish TV. And there's a celebrity Big Brother thing in the UK. And I don't watch it, right? But Mickey Rourke was going to be on it. And
Hmm.
we all like Mickey Rourke. But they've got every single thing is produced in the background. Maybe that's all reality TV and I just don't watch it, so I don't know. But like every single thing is planned and produced. It's all fake. It's not the real world. I can't, why am I taking my life watching you people badly acting and trying to tell me that you're not acting?
Isn't this funny that it's called reality TV? Isn't it funny that they
Yeah.
call it Real Housewives of? It's to the point where where we are so used to seeing things. We're like, that's fake. Everything is. Let's circle it back. Another reason why I created Personal Branding Studio and why I'm creating my templates. It's to the point now where everybody is so cynical and people go, oh, that's fake. You have to prove that you are real and that you are human. The only way to do that is to tell your story. The only way to do that is to create personally branded content to then put onto a website and social media. There's no other hacks of like, just press this button, use this thing to to produce quicker. No, you need to be as real as possible and not as real as the Real Housewives or reality TV. It's not real. It's not real.
Because we're going back to that little well of energy we all had when we were 10 years old, and we choose how we spend it and how we share it.
Yep.
And everyone is looking for it. And if you have it, people want to be around you. So Harry has another question. Joathan, pending release of your templates for the content of the website, would you recommend signing up for your Squarespace website building course? Sorry to be a pest about this, but I'm an
I
audio
totally get
guy
it.
and visual design challenged.
Harry, I've taken down the Squarespace building course and created the template so it's much easier and quicker. So there's no technical difficulties. If you want to get on the VIP waitlist for the templates, I'll give you the link. Let me find it.
I can post it in the group after the call. And I'll tag Harry.
JoathanTilley.com templates. There you go.
Can you get that from there, Harry? Okay, I'll post it. I'll post it in the group after the call.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll post it in the group right now.
While you're doing that, I made a note of wanting to come back to something when you said, are you positive and bubbly all the time? Hell no. However, I do have a standard of excellence that when I show up online, I'm not going to be negative Nelly. I'm going to try and do my best to give as much value to people and just be my most authentic self, professional self.
Yeah.
But when the camera's not on, but like, come on, we all have good and bad days, right? But here's the thing. And we all know this feeling, but very few people have learned how to harness it. And to this day, I am still trying to harness it to the best of my ability with all the energy management I'm trying to do. Frustration. Oh my goodness. It is so easy, especially nowadays, to get so frustrated about so many things and complain and wallow and just sit in it, right? But that frustration, if you harness it, is fuel. It's fuel. So Personal Branding Studio, my online course, because I was doing one-on-one work, I'm like, this is great for just one person, but I'm repeating myself. I got so frustrated. Or I would look at other people and they would send me their websites, or I would do website critiques, or I would, all these things. I'm like, oh my God, why? It is 2025. Why does their website look like 1725? Like, can we just? And I would just get so mad. It's like, no, there's a reason why you're getting upset. It's because I know how to fix it. I want to fix it. I want to do something about it. That frustration is fuel. But a lot of people get frustrated and complain and say, well, I guess this is the world that we live in, and literally do nothing. And that's all they do is just sit and moan and groan, but they don't take any action.
It's like jealousy. Jealousy is fuel. If you
Yeah.
see somebody that has something and your immediate thought is, I'm jealous, that thought is, oh my gosh, that's something I want. What can I do to get it? What did they do to get it?
Yeah.
What do I really want about it? What element? And then it's the difference between I have to do this or I get to do this.
Yeah. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So same thing. Attract, attract, attract. Repel, repel, repel. Mediocre, meh, it's all right. Indifference. If you're indifferent about something, you're meh, you're not bothered. But if you're jealous or hateful or spiteful, there's a reason. Because you are like intrinsically, like you want something, right? So why don't you use it? So anytime
that's fuel.
It's completely fuel, right? Yeah. Like If something is not going your way, you will do anything to make it go your way. So you're like, oh, finally, like I don't have to worry about this, right? Versus like, oh yeah, I have a hangnail, but it's, or I have this stray hair. It's like indifferent. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I went to see Wicked. We went to see, I think it was Wicked in London, the live show.
Mm,
And I was in a corporate job. I hated it. It was towards the end.
yeah.
And I went in the bathroom and I cried the entire show.
Yeah.
It was an away day because I was so hateful and full of
Yeah.
jealousy. And that's what I wanted with my life.
Yeah.
And here I'm having to act on weekends and at night. And I'm in this horrible job, like just full of like, never the thought of what can I do to get that?
Yeah. No.
Because you feel, because that only happens when you feel blocked from your possibilities.
Yes.
But if I'd known there was this shining, all the
Yep.
possibilities. Yeah.
So
So,
yeah,
okay. So,
frustration is fuel.
yeah, I love that. I love that. I really, I think we all need that reminder. I think we all need that reminder. I will use that reminder when I'm looking up endless names I can't pronounce this week. I'm going to remind myself. So, so you're in this place. So what does this look like, joining your branding program? What does it look like? Take us
Ooh,
through.
okay.
Yeah.
So, Personal Branding Studio, there are 12 modules broken down into 3 parts. Part 1 is align, part 2 is elevate, part 1 is align, part 2 is curate, part 3 is elevate. And within each part, there are 4 modules that repeat 3 times. Strategy, messaging, visuals, design. So part 1, align, strategy, messaging, visuals, design. Part 2, curate, strategy, messaging, visuals, design. Part 3, elevate, strategy, messaging, visuals, design. Think of it like writing an essay, like what we used to do in school. First draft, part 1, align. Second draft, part 2, curate. Third and final draft, part 3, elevate. So in part 1, we do all the self-discovery stuff, which is really messy, first draft, right? Answering all these questions about yourself, getting that photo shoot done, finding your signature fonts. It's really messy. It's, as creatives, it's like, yeah, this is great. Throw it everywhere. This isn't me. This is, oh my God, let's try this on. It's the fun part. It's the fun part. Part 2, curate, is the longest. And it's like the second draft when you're writing an essay. So you look at the first draft of the messy, wonderful creativeness and you go, okay, I need to make this way nicer and make this flow. Why did I write the ending first? Because I felt like it. Okay, great. But now we need to package it, get rid of the hack. I've repeated this 3 times, say it once, but where, right? So it's with your photos, getting the photos back. What are the top 10 photos? What's the 11 to 20 photos? Top 10 photos go onto your website. Top 10 photos also go onto your social media. 11 through 20 also go on social media. 21 to 30 also go on social media, but not so often. Right? All those different things, all those systems that I've been using that I'm like, here's a little trick, right? You've written your about page with the help of ChatGPT. 80% of it is done, but it's still missing that little bit of you. This is what you do in part 2, curate, your second draft, making it really just to a T. Design, picking your icons, finding the royalty free stock photos that don't look like stock photos, right? That really look like it could be your office, it could be your desk, it could be where you live. Because of course you forgot to take a photo of whatever because you were so busy on the day of your photo shoot, right? You can use some stock photos in the background to help just give a little bit more detail. Picking your color palette, all those little things that are important to build your entire personal brand. part 3, Elevate, is like the final draft, right? Your brand book. Here is the font choice that I'm using. Here is my final color palette. Here are the top 5 to the top 10 photos. Here's the #1 photo at the top of my website that's also going to be the same photo on every single profile pic on social media. And then you go onto social media and you swap out the profile pic, so it's exactly the same. You write out your social media bios for every social media platform that you're on, and you actually go and change it on every social media platform, right? So all of those things that just elevate it to this next level of who you are, that's what we do in the third part, in part 3, Curate. And
I
then
love that.
you have all of your content, and it's like, okay, now your personally branded content. Now we know how to put it into your website, into the templates. Now you have at least 6 months worth of content for social media, if not more, that you can just post and just go, okay, we've got that under control. Instead of, what am I going to post? It's like, oh, I know exactly what to post. Or if you're like me, I think we have like 4 to 5 years worth of content.
Wow.
Yeah, it's to the point where I'm like, when you're good at creating systems and you take it to the next level with yourself, you're like, it's not a
Mm.
question of what do I post today? It's like we have too much. It's a wonderful luxury to have, luxurious problem to have. Like, what are we gonna post? Like, oh my God, what did we do? How is this gonna
Jonathan
roll
says,
out?
Jonathan wants to know, how often should you change your website?
Great question. I honestly think you shouldn't change your website that often. I think you should have a website that still feels like you, that looks like you, that has the current content and promotional demos that are of you. But what happens is we evolve and our websites stay the same. So you might have 3 new clients, like big name clients that could be added to your client list. You're like, oh, I just need to update that. And then a year goes by and now it's 6 new clients. Or you have an outdated video on your website, or the YouTube video link just it's gone now. Oof. So that's where things start to get clunky. So it's not a thing of I have to check my website and my social media every single week to make sure that everything's running smoothly. It just happens. Things evolve. So I think there needs to be once every quarter to go, okay, what do we need to update and tweak? Other times it might be like, well, when I created my website, I didn't have that many clients and I didn't even have a client list. Now I do. Shoot. And then you do the piecemeal stuff. Oh, let me just get that in. Oh, let me just get that in. And then it starts to look like different puzzle pieces of different puzzles put together. And that's where things
And
start to get
that's
wonky.
easy for an audiobook narrator. It's genius what you just said, because Jonathan, ideally every quarter we're sending out a reach out to publishers or
Yeah.
production companies, and at that point you're telling them what you've most recently done,
Yeah.
and do a quick mental note. Oh, have I put that on my website or
Yes.
whatever? Have I updated
Yeah.
that book or that? So it's easy to remember. It's an easy kind of
Yeah.
check-in thing to do.
Yeah.
Wow. This is like, this has been a very, very uplifting call. I'm going to hit you
Oh,
with the last
thanks.
question.
Yes.
Not the one I used to, because you
Ooh.
don't get off so easily because you're a repeat offender. So you're on your second call with us. So I've got a question. 5 words, right? Can you please describe the rest of your life in 5 words?
This is from the Colbert questionnaire.
Yeah, yeah. I heard that. He asked some girl, I don't know, her answers were lame, but I really, really love the question.
I love watching Colbert questionnaire over lunchtime, and I watched a couple of them today. I'm like, I've always wanted to be asked this question, and then it happens
Yeah,
today.
it's
Talk
a
about
good question,
manifesting.
isn't it?
And now I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay. 5 words to describe the rest of my life. No
Yes.
pressure.
Yeah. It's a challenge, isn't it?
Oh,
And it really brings it down to like the important things.
Content. Content. Laughing.
Important. Good.
Puppies.
None of us can argue with that one.
Healthy. And I'm gonna be so cheeky on this one, but I don't care. Here we go. What do we say? I'm gonna write this. I'm gonna write these down. What did we say? Puppies as the third one. Content, laughter, puppies,
Laughter.
healthy. Okay, I got it. This is so great.
Healthy.
Daniela. Okay, here we go. We're gonna start again. I'm saving the best for last. Content.
Okay.
Healthy.
Got
Puppies. Oh, no, sorry. Content, laughing, puppies, healthy, and then the last one, from head to toe, flawless.
it. Perfect. I love that.
Flawless.
I love that.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's a really good one.
yeah.
That's a really good one. I like that. I love that question. I'm gonna have to, yeah, I love that. And we'll close with Harry says, Steve Chandler has books, audios on moving from a victim mindset to owner of your life.
Yeah.
And I think that pretty well encompasses everything we've talked about on this call today.
Yeah.
And I thank you for sharing some of this. It's like a bottled elixir that you've got, and
Oh,
and
thanks.
it's like fairy dust, and you're sprinkling us all with it. And it's even just in this 1 hour, I think we're all good, that we're going to walk away better
Oh, my
for
pleasure.
having
Thank you
spent
so
this time with
much.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Well,
you.
it's
I
been
can't
so
wait
much
to get
fun.
this video out. It's going to help so many people. Harry, in case you didn't get the link, I tagged it on the Narrator's Cup of Joe, and I put your name next to it. Thank you so much, Joathan, for your
Thank
time.
you.
You are amazing. I swear I'm going to be chasing you in another year going, please come back.
Would love to anytime.
You're welcome to come back. You are an honored veteran guest. So, and thank you guys to the studio audience. Mwah! As always, you're fabulous. Talk to you soon. Bye. Bye. And you guys, I'm going to have links and info about Joathan's program in the About section of this video if you're watching it on YouTube. Bye, everyone. Bye.